TikTok is said to go dark, the full effects of which we don't even know yet if its Chinese-owned parent company ByteDance doesn't divest its ownership by Sunday. ByteDance has said it has no plans to do so. The legal saga started last April when President Biden signed a bipartisan bill banning the app unless its U.S. operations were divested from ByteDance. TikTok and ByteDance then sued the U.S. government in May, which responded by suing them in August. Fast forward to December when a federal appeals court upheld the ban. And then last week, the Supreme Court listened to oral arguments against the ban and has yet to make an official decision. That brings us to this Sunday, the app's deadline to either sell or shut down in the U.S. Ganora Getachew, did I get your name correct?
You sure did.
Thank you. Joins us now. She's the CEO of DoSomething.org, a leading site for youth activism. Ganora, thank you so much for being here. So there is so much we don't know. We don't know if users are going to see, sorry, you can't access the app. We don't know if it's just going to be you can't access it from the App Store if you don't already have it. But what effect would a ban have on younger users who maybe use the app for more than just mild entertainment? What are some of the things they use it for?
Thank you so much for having me this evening, Lindsay. As someone who represents one of the largest nonprofits focused on young people and civic engagement online, I think what we're hearing from young people is their concern. We live in a digital age, and young people have used TikTok and other social media for their connections to address the loneliness epidemic. They use it for career building. They use it for creative design and thinking about entrepreneurship.
Career building. Can you elaborate on that?
We've actually seen a spike in the number of young people who are using social media, including TikTok, to find jobs. And then for those who are creative entrepreneurs, it has been this marketplace where they can bring their products to market to the creator class and to those who can't find it elsewhere. And so I think there's a major concern among today's youth about what happens if TikTok goes dark.
So one of the reasons lawmakers pushed for this ban was for national security. Is this an issue that Gen Z particularly cares about?
It's a great question. I'm not fully sure that Gen Z and Gen Alpha, for that matter, right? Let's be clear. There are 13-year-olds who are and 14-year-olds who are old enough to use some of these platforms, whether they fully appreciate the national security risk that it might pose. What we've heard from our members, and they're 13 to 25-year-olds, is that they want the government to get involved in regulating social media if it has an impact on free speech and if it has an impact on misinformation and disinformation online. And so I'm not sure they fully appreciate the role that a ban could have and why there are national security impacts, especially because now they're turning away to Red Note and to other sources where they're giving their data away, right? And so you think about, on the one hand, the government is trying to, when they passed this bill, was trying to think about the national security interest, try to think about how do we protect our youth, which I think is a really important thing for us to focus on, right? Today's youth are facing the threat of a mental health crisis. Our U.S.
Are there any potential benefits? And look, I am sensitive to the fact that many people do use this for connection.
Yeah.
And that other types of connection may be out of reach or very difficult. But there are other platforms that people can turn to. Maybe this could be a motivation for people to have more face-to-face interaction. Do you see that?
I think that's right? And that's one of the things that we're working on to do something. So while we're a tech-powered platform, we also have live programming because we see the young people are missing that social connection that comes from face-to-face human interaction. And so our hope is that this will be spark an important dialogue about how do we protect today's youth, ensure that, yes, they can have meaningful conversations, meaningful engagement online, because we are solidly in the digital age. We can't put that genie back in the bottle. But we also have to do more to protect today's youth to ensure that they understand that human connection that I think we're losing so much of.
We don't even know the full effect of people who are growing up in this digital age.
Unequivocally. I mean, you turn to classrooms these days, teachers are finding themselves more policing media and technology in the classroom than they are doing education.
Schools are banning it, and states banning phones in schools. All right, Ganora Getachew, we have to leave it there. But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We hope you'll come back.